Friends, 953 days of war between Russia and Ukraine. In southern war zone, no significant changes in Kherson. In Zaporizhia, heavy shelling continuing from both the sides. Russians made some gains along H08 highway, which is northwest of Verbov. Coming to east on Ugledar Marinka Kurakho sector. Most of the surrendered Ukrainian soldiers have left Ugledar on order of Ukrainian command. Russian army is in process of mopping up. Next Russian army's offensive operation will be on, or rather already on, Bogoyav Linka Novo-Ukrainka line. They have also started assault in Novoselidivka, eastern outskirts. Pokrovsk sector, which is generally speaking west of Avdivka, Russians have expanded control zone in southeast of Sukurino, and fight is on in Nikolevka area and north and west of Novogrodovka and north of Selidovo. Toresk Russians made some marginal gains on the both flanks of Toresk and as well as in the center. After taking over Nepilivka, Russians advanced on the western outskirts of Leonodovka. Siversk sector, as per Ukrainian channels, Russians made good gains advance from Spurne towards Verkhne Kamensky, while Russian MOD claims to have captured it fully. Fight continues in the areas of Bilohorivka and Vishnive. Bakhmut Chasiv, no significant changes. Northeast Ukraine, that is Kupian, Swatovo, Crimea directions, in Borovaya, that is Swatovo sector, Russians advanced on the flanks of Borovaya towards Oskil River. Near Krokhlyakova, Russians expanded control zone near Pishane and also around Vishnove. Russians also advanced west of Makiivka, that is Liman front, and expanded its control zone. North of Kharkov, that is Slobozansky direction, battle continues in Volchansk and Liptsy direction. No significant changes. Lastly, coming to Kursk in Glushkov district, offensive operations were not very high, though Russians recaptured most of Veziloe, where Ukrainians have been assaulting and had advanced in last 2 days, and Russians also re-entered in Obukhovka. Korenivo district, Russians advanced in the forest area. Otherwise, by and large, no changes here. And in Sudza direction, heavy battle continues in Plekho area. Russians advance south of Kromskie Baiki area and recaptured Novosilovka and Kitrovka and adjacent forests. Interdiction missions continuing as before. Heavy shelling by Ukrainians in Belgorod DPR using cluster munitions, while Russians used drones in Odisha Sumi and also used missiles against Ukrainian air defense system in Sloviansk and Kramatorsk. Coming to Palestine, Israel, Middle East, which includes Lebanon. As far as Gaza Strip is concerned, alongside West Bank, no changes. Operations continue as before. Israel has accepted losses due Hezbollah shelling in northern Israel, which includes infantry troops and equipment, says wounded have been evacuated. On ground, Hezbollah eliminated 8 IDF soldiers plus one officer of the rank of captain and injured more than 20 of them. Here, Israel is silent on loss of its F 35 fighters at Nevatin Air Base struck by Iranian hypersonic missiles. If it's true, it could be almost 20 of these fighters, which is huge loss to Israel. Initial advance by IDF, about 4 to 500 meters, like in Metula and other areas, 2 or 3 of them, were thrown back by the Hezbollah forces. IDF also lost in this ground offensive 3 Markava tanks. Russian ambassador at UN has said that it is an illusion that Israel has a military superiority. Israel is trying to pit its main rival, Iran, against US, and who is right. In the meantime, Palestinian Popular Front for Liberation of Palestine has supported Hezbollah and other resistant forces for the liberation of Palestine. And Iran has also warned Israel that it is preparing Israel's response with hundreds of missiles, which is likely. Have you heard of OTS, Organization of Turkic States? It is not only merely for language culture of Turkish speaking people in about half a dozen of countries adjacent to Turkey, but much more than that, a jingoistic organization and also based on military and political gains. And finally, before I end my talk, I will like to tell you about the eastern Ukrainian front. After fall of Ugledar, new front line is likely to be Katerinivka, Bogoyav, Lenka, Novo Ukraine and Zolota line. It could be otherwise also Karkhoka, Uspenivka and Shakhtarsky Valika, Novosilka, and this is a huge gain for the Russians who are not only withholding Ukrainian attack in Kursk but also continuing their gains in the entire eastern front in addition to whatever doing in south except Kharso. Well, see you tomorrow guys.